Do it.
Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week, we begin our preparation for Deadpool and Wolverine, which opens next week, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We're going to watch the first two Deadpool movies and then actually go to the movies. Look at us.
Woohoo.
First up, Deadpool from 2016, which is number 1,322 on the Franken list.
It should be a little higher.
I'm Frank Gaffney. Well, it didn't win any awards. I'm with us as always, Joel Poole. Mark G has the picture up. And Goldhook and No Cringer.
I should have. It says Amy Goldman. Something is very strange. I have to change it to.
Who's she?
You have to do a Zoom for work?
No, and even when I do, I don't change it. Changing it now.
You do a Zoom for work and it says go fucking Cringer?
Yeah, but 99% of the times we do Teams. Every once in a blue moon, we do Zoom, and I'm like,
and Annie King is in the kitchen, and you're slacking. Where's all the vacations? You're like been home like 3 weeks in a row.
I was on vacation last week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where were you last week? On the Hamptons. In the Hamptons.
Yeah.
All right. So does this count? Are we back to the MCU?
We will be in 2 weeks. This is a transitional stage.
Yeah, when the third movie retroactively sucks it into the MCU.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's the plot. Ryan Reynolds is Wade Wilson, a former Special Forces operative who now works as a mercenary. His world comes crashing down when an evil scientist tortures, disfigures, and transforms him into Deadpool. So it's an origin story, which we love. But he was in a previous X-Men movie, right?
He was in X-Men Origins Wolverine as a much different version of the same character.
No.
And it was true Marvel fans were very upset with it because it was not true to character other than his sarcastic mouth.
The other movie?
The other movie, yeah. What they did at the end, it was just a complete abomination to the character, and he felt like I think he all the criticism really affected him in real life, Ryan Reynolds, and it became his goal to basically fix that and do it right.
Aww.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the comic books, this is a more faithful version than that.
Look at the comic.
Well, you got to realize that's not how Deadpool started. It took him a number of years to get to the point that we all know and love him at this point for. He was a clone essentially of a DC character that,
in the comics.
Yeah.
So his origin story is different in our movie today than the real origin story?
No, that's from what I remember, his origin story in the comics is similar, but the fourth wall, over the top bloodshed and stuff didn't come till a few years later. It took them a while to settle into that. He was
niche.
He was a clone of a DC character known as Deathstroke, whose secret alias is not Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson. So yeah.
And they really made it that obvious?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and he's wearing Superman's costume. Spider-Man's costume.
Spider-Man.
Oh.
It's sure.
Sure.
All right, so the credits were adorable for sure. A gratuitous cameo, was that Stan Lee we're talking about?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Did he create Deadpool? No.
Rob Liefeld.
Right.
Rob Liefeld did.
He's in the movie. I just can never remember where.
Rob is?
Yeah.
Then why is Stan here?
Because you don't have a Marvel movie without Stan Lee. He was
we do now.
Well,
he was doing that way back before the MCU.
Yeah.
And it was a very cute Wolverine joke when he said, "Who do I had to impress?" What word did he use? And so I guess Hugh Jackman shaves his balls. Is that what we're supposed to infer from that? Okay,
something like that.
And then we flash back to those opening credit scene thing again. That was clever. But then when it said the Xavier School, I was like, wait a minute, should I know what that is?
Xavier School. He's the leader of the X-Men. Yeah. And so I just got to go back to something. I want to go back to what you said before. That X-Men origin movie about Wolverine. Obviously, Wolverine was played by Hugh Jackman in that as well. So they've already appeared in the movie in 2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why
that's for our viewers at home.
He had to coop his balls, or however he said it in Australian. Okay, and then, well, is that metal guy always metal? Does he
Colossus?
change?
No, and it's a bad representation. The accent is good, but he has a human form. He's a 6'6" guy who then transforms into organic steel.
Yeah, and
While he's eating
Colossus,
cereal.
yes,
That's his mutant power.
and he was played by a different actor who didn't have the Russian accent and was more of a large teenager in, was it X2 and 3 or just 3? I don't remember.
X-Men 1 and 2. I think it was in 3 as well.
Yeah.
His biggest part was in 2.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
we should have spent the whole year watching X-Men movies.
Yeah, I was just thinking I have a lot to watch this week.
Yeah.
No,
You don't need to.
you don't need to. If you want to watch X-Men Origins, that might be worth it, but the rest of it is going to be.
I told you guys that a month or two ago, and Logan.
Except the Deadpool is the wrong Deadpool.
Yes,
but it's the two. It'll probably leads into Deadpool 2, the end credit scene, and it will most likely lead into Deadpool and Wolverine because they've already been in the movie together, and I'm sure they will reference that as they do in the fourth wall.
Yes. Okay. And then I was never the fan of T.J. Miller, and I don't like him here either. And #MeToo, he's not in the third movie.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's shame. I actually do like him in this, and I think he's even funnier in the second movie. But apparently, he's just a douche in real life and can't get along with anyone.
I definitely saw a douche watching him here. And then it takes an hour and 5 minutes to get all caught up from that first scene, finally getting and seeing the whole thing. Also funny was the studio couldn't afford any other X-Men. That's great. Because don't we say that all the time? Where are all the other Avengers? Yeah. Obviously, they can't afford them.
Yeah. But the reality was they couldn't. They had other X-Men in the original scripts they were working on, and Fox was like, "Nope, we're cutting the budget. We're cutting the budget. We're cutting the budget."
Yeah,
so
they didn't.
And they cut the time too. Yeah, it was very, very hard to make that movie, from what I heard.
But did I miss why the two X-Men were kidnapping him in the first place? Deadpool.
I just thought they really wanted him to be part of the X-Men.
Yeah.
That's why they
were. The reason I don't know.
Yes, and to keep him under control a bit, because they know that he is a bit crazy and kills people.
And then 1 hour later, they're helping him.
There's more of that in the next movie.
Okay. And why would the Indian cabbie pick up Deadpool again when he stiffed him the first time?
Getting a high from Deadpool is cool.
I would have been like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and he's great comic relief.
Yeah. He had to pay the $27 from his own pocket. Okay. And then we have that whole montage of him packing the guns, and he forgets them again. Yeah. So why did we need to see it?
Because
the one joke Mark pointed out.
They cut the budget. They couldn't afford to film a gunfight with all those guns.
And then, how strong is the bad girl? I don't even know her name. That she could fight the metal guy when Deadpool couldn't.
That's Gina Carano. She was also in The Mandalorian until she got canceled.
Not this character. You mean the actress?
The actress, yes. So I don't even know what was this.
She's like stronger than Superman.
Are you talking about Megatron Teenage Girl?
No, the bad one with the matchstick.
Yeah.
The matchstick. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Angel Dust, right?
Frank, in the comics, at some point in time, everyone is stronger than someone else, and someone gets their ass kicked, even if they just kick someone else's ass.
Paddington.
Yeah.
No, not Paddington. Just, yeah, whatever.
It's just a comic book. You have to accept.
Yeah.
It's people walking on 100-mile-an-hour train.
Yeah.
And then why do we have to have the last minute the villain is still alive trope? Why? Here again. Oh yeah, he's not dead. Okay, good. And how did Deadpool get the picture of Hugh Jackman from the People magazine when it was stuck in the bag of guns that he didn't bring with him?
I think it was a different picture.
Yeah, it's a different picture, right?
Okay, but it's fun. It's fun. Deadpool is a fun blend of irreverent humor, over-the-top action. Ryan Reynolds is adorable.
It's very much a Barry Hattrick movie.
Yeah, he's gonna love it.
Oh yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds, I mean, some of the some of his quips were a little archaic, even for me, but his timing is perfect. And the breaking of the fourth wall, I think, is great. It's adorable. It's refreshing. And but even with the fun of the raunchy jokes and the commentary from him, even at this short length, there were times I was like, okay, let's get on with this already. But it's entertaining. But it seemed like it was a few different movies at times. And the flashback scenes, I don't know. There was just too many things going on. But more pluses. The fight choreography was impressive. The CGI, especially during those action set pieces.
No, they didn't have much CGI, so that was really him flipping through the. No, just kidding. They had no budget.
Right.
Okay, so but sometimes I felt like, okay, now they went too far.
It comes to 3
Overly
stars. Here it
stylized,
comes.
and it became just like a live action Warner Brothers cartoon. Really.
2.5 stars.
Do I hear 2? Do I? Yes. Same thing.
No, he's going with 3. I could tell.
Well, I'm caving to your fractionitis.
Oh, 3.25.
I'm going to do 3.25.
Wow.
It is fun and it's out there, but it's refreshing, I feel. And it's not perfect, of course, but it's a good addition. And I was going to say, I assume this is where the boys got the inspiration, because it's I felt a lot of that in the Boys TV show.
No, because the Boys comic is pretty much what you're seeing in the TV show.
See, I didn't know the Boys was a comic. I thought they just said, okay,
No.
let's do something.
And was that comic out before 2016?
Oh yeah, definitely. That
Okay.
comic, I don't remember when it started, but I was reading it like around the turn of the century. So.
They might have gotten a little nudge from the Deadpool comic book, maybe. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's Garth Ennis, and he comes from that same school of,
I didn't know they had
all
comic books at 1900, Joel. Okay.
the turn of the last century, not the
this most
before
recent.
that. Yes.
I'm sorry. It's just so weird. You know what I'm talking about.
Turn of the century is 1900 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try
Last
telling that to
century.
my kids.
The last century.
Yeah. They're like, you're so old. You were born in the last century. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, today we had an event where I had to, ID people. And I'm like, 2003? You're not old enough to think.
I do HR onboarding for all new employees at work, and when I see the same thing, I've seen 2006 already.
Oh my God.
All right, Annie King. Now, you are a fan of the MCU. The whole reason you joined us, because you're a big fan. Now, I'm assuming you saw this one before.
I did see it before, and really only because Morgan.
Hi, Morgan.
Came home from watching it and said it was so amazing, so great. So I went and I watched it. And, I wasn't, it wasn't my favorite. I thought it was overly with the killing and everything. And I thought it was cute, the fourth wall. Ryan Reynolds is cute and stuff. I wasn't that impressed with it at all, actually. It was enjoyable, but I don't think I've watched it since. So
2 3/4.
I would go with the 3.
Wait, so on your second rewatch here, you didn't find it any better?
I noticed a little bit more. The credits I may not have really noticed because I'm so much more mature and sophisticated now.
Yes, you are.
And I did, saw things that I probably didn't see the first time. So it was more enjoyable.
Did you enjoy the cinematography this time?
I did.
The score?
Right. No, I don't notice the score very often. Unless it's got a great soundtrack, but
Angel of the Morning?
yes. Right. Yes.
Well, that would be the soundtrack. The score.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was 3. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I think the first time I saw it, I really, I was like, nah, but it's a 3.
No, I remember I'd seen it before, and I thought same thing then. I thought, no, good, this was fun.
Hmm.
All right, so Mark G, you have the picture up, so I'm gonna say 3.5.
Right on the nose, yes. And I'm the one. This was my movie to pick, so yes, I certainly liked it. And I will say off, just to go off notes that yeah, just to give Ryan Reynolds credit, I think he's hilarious in pretty much anything he does. And he's done other movies like The Adam Project and Free Guy and stuff too in the last few years.
Oh, Free Guy. Oh.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's from Canada.
yes, there are some jokes in the second movie
In
about
the
that as
second
well.
movie, I started the second one today.
I finished
Good
it
Yeah,
last
job.
week.
Good job.
isn't the character also from Canada?
Canada. Joel?
That I don't know. I know Wolverine.
Wolverine is, yeah. And
Yeah.
Deadpool is like his nemesis, but or I never read Deadpool in the comics. He was after I stopped reading, but I don't know. Anyway, and yes, and Danielle would definitely like to bang the snots out of Ryan Reynolds. She has a big crush on him.
Yeah,
He's one of the good ones.
Yeah, I don't see that, but okay.
Okay. So I wrote these notes in order of the movie and didn't rewrite anything, so I'm just gonna go with it. I
That's
love
what my comments were. I was like, when I was watching, I was just like, meh,
dun, dun,
meh.
dun, dun. I do that, but then I usually reorganize them, but I didn't do that. I love the quirky, sarcastic, silly humor, even though, as I think Frank said, it was a bit much sometimes. What the ass? I mean, it was like, all right, it's like you're just going to insert a different what the shit, what the ass.
Right. That's
little-
the thing I thought with T.J. Miller. I thought, okay, the director said, give us another one. Okay, give us another one.
Yeah.
Give us another one. And then
They did the trailer, the part where he sees now Deadpool for the first time,
Right.
without his mask on, and says that you look like an avocado, had sex with an older, uglier avocado. I remember the original trailer had a different line. It said, "You look like the inside of other people's assholes," and I liked that line better. I thought that was hilarious, and it wasn't in the movie.
And actually, I didn't think he looked that bad. I mean,
but you could just tell that it was like you said, Frank. Somebody was just like, "Okay, go again, another one, and another." Yeah. And sometimes it was a little bit, didn't hit.
But the way his face and body looked, he definitely looked like an avocado. I think that's a clever job.
It was more, yeah. No, I agree. The speaking Swedish with the IKEA, that made me laugh. I'd forgotten that part. And I'm very, very embarrassed to say that I completely forgot that there was full nude scene in the strip joint. I did not remember that part. I remember the sex scenes with Vanessa. I did not remember that. So that was a nice surprise. I thought it was a great origin story, and it made sense in his circumstances to do exactly what he did, to leave, to go get tortured, and just had a chance at life and love, and it made sense. It wasn't some bullshit like you see in other movies. I love Dopinder. He is back in part 2. And the part where he has his rival cousin in the trunk and Wade is whispering to him in between saying what Colossus wants to hear. I thought that was great. It's not a perfect movie, but just a lot of fun, and it's funnier than most superhero movies for sure. I think I wrote this at the time. I think I like Deadpool 2 as much as this one, but I'll tell you next week after I watch it. And I already watched it, and I already know the answer, but I'll leave that for next week. And I cannot wait for the new one in 2 weeks. And I'll give you one hint for you guys when you're watching Deadpool 2 next week. Look for Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk in a cameo as hillbillies, talking about something. I'll just watch for it. You'll see it. Very funny. 3.5 stars. A lot of fun.
Who the hell is Alan Tudyk?
Oh my gosh, who's
Come
Alan
on?
Can we turn her off and kick her out now?
Tudyk? Oh my gosh.
Annie? Thank you.
Okay, he's been in a lot of things physically. He's been in a lot of things physically, but he basically has taken over from Frank Welker as the voice of any animal in any animated.
Not just
movie.
Animal, everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
All right, so I don't think you've seen Firefly, but he was also in this show. What was that? Suburban something or other?
Beverly Hillbillies?
Suburban
It was
something.
called Suburbia, right?
Oh.
Suburbia.
He's in a current show.
Resident Alien.
Now, Resident Alien he's so good in that.
Really?
Danielle's watching that.
Oh my gosh, he is so good.
He was in A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger and Paul. What's his name? Vision.
Right. Oh.
There was
Nate.
there was an NBC sitcom 5 or 6 years ago at this point called Powerless that was based in the DC universe, and he was Bruce Wayne's cousin who ran.
Anyways,
Wayne
we
Enterprise. He's hysterical.
yeah,
He's
he's
very
great.
funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on,
And-
hold on. Amy, have you seen Moana? He's the voice of Hey Hey,
I did see
the
Mohan.
chicken.
Yeah.
He's the
Okay.
chicken.
Okay. I'll look him up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny in Resident Alien. Hysterically funny. All right, Amy Goldman, Goldpool.
What did you think, Mommy? I was going to read off all of the opening titles for our audience member watching, but I won't waste time. But some of them were just so good, like starring God's perfect idiot. Just so good.
By the way,
And-
they referenced that in the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did do it again in 2, I saw.
Mm.
I thought from in the beginning, way too many jokes from him, which to me weakens the comedy when it's just nonstop. Some do hit, many are just stupid. When he cut his hand off and was bleeding all over and said, "Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret." That was pretty funny. But right after, when he was on the table with Ajax and the super strong woman, Angel Dust, he just would not stop with the one-liners over and over and over. And I was so glad she finally told him to shut the fuck up. It was fun when he was all burnt up and then went to visit his friend at the and came up with the name Deadpool. I loved when he got back into the cab from the top of the movie just said, "Now you all know how this turned out." And however they went back and forth with the flashback was really well done, very cute and clever. I'm almost done, I promise. Immediately following my above comment about the above scene, Hit the Road Jack came on, prompting me to say, what a great soundtrack. Really, that's such great songs. Right, honey? He hears the sirens.
Oh.
I loved everything about his relationship with Al, especially as one of you mentioned the IKEA talk. And I actually chuckled when he said there's about 116 kilograms of cocaine hidden in the apartment right next to the cure for blindness.
Watch for that in Deadpool 2.
Okay. Well, I have seen the first hour of Deadpool, so I had never seen it before. I did see Deadpool in the theater.
He pulls up a board and you see both of those things right next to each other. The cure for blindness and a giant bag of cocaine.
Oh, maybe I haven't noticed that because I have seen her already in the movie, unless she's in it again. I did see the movie in the theater, and I think it was very much like Guardians of the Galaxy. It was supposed to be a really fun movie, so I thought, let me just go see it. And I remember really liking it. Oh my God.
The funny thing about Leslie Uggams, though, I'm sorry, is that I didn't remember what her name was, and I saw it, and I was like, her name is
AI, right? Yeah. I always see Al as AI now, too, even when I was reading it.
Al is not a girl's name.
Yeah. My final thing I wrote was, oh my God, when Vanessa and Deadpool are lying on the ground and You're the Inspiration, again, great, starts playing, and we see adorable little animated creatures appear until Deadpool gets raunchy and they horrifyingly melt away like into skeletons. It was great. Anyway, so I don't really have anything like deep and meaningful. It was really just about.
Well, you never do.
I never do. And also the post-credit sequence were great. And I remember the first time thinking this is straight out of Ferris Bueller.
You're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh, I'm sorry. But they were great. Both of them. Anyway, I'm just like the first time I saw it, I'm giving this a very strong 3.5 stars. I really, really liked it. And an hour into Deadpool 2, I'm halfway through. I'm liking it way more than I thought I would because everybody said it sucked. So I'm really looking forward to seeing 3, Annie.
Okay.
Are you going together?
Should be, yeah. I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Are you going to hold hands?
Of course we are.
Go, Pool. So now you did read the comics.
I didn't read Deadpool comics. I know who he is from having read comics at the time, because every now and then you'd have to kind of keep up with other things and,
crossover.
Yeah,
so
crossover.
Just a brief going back to the Origins movie, the X-Men Origins movie. I'm just curious, what was so heinous about what they did to Deadpool in that movie that totally ruined the character?
Well, because when Wade Wilson becomes Deadpool in that movie, they basically made him into a half-naked super ninja and sewed his lips up. So
I don't see anything wrong with either of those things.
And they gave him extra powers.
yeah,
He's an amalgamation of several other mutants, which
yeah,
is just
it's
not
wrong.
accurate.
Well,
And you know what?
but,
And
but
you don't want to shut up the guy who's the comic relief. He
yes,
doesn't make sense.
but sewing his mouth up would have been good for Amy because he wouldn't have had a wisecrack every single moment.
But here's the thing: is that his nick, Batman is the Dark Knight detective, and Superman's the Man of Steel. Deadpool is the merc with a mouth.
No.
So
The merc with a mouth?
Merc.
He's a mercenary.
M-U-R-K?
You never heard of MERC?
yeah,
No.
It was a comic book back in the day too. Merc. It's short for mercenary.
All right.
Joel, these people. I'm
I
sorry.
know. We
This is
discussing comics.
Okay. Aim, have you heard this merc thing?
No.
That's why I said these
Aim,
people.
have
I'm
you heard
including
the
all
merc
of.
thing? You knew what a merc was when he said it?
Wow.
I thought it was that thing that the Arab women wear. Is that a merc?
America.
It's a burqa.
Merca. And this is Merca.
There's
This is America.
Guess who hasn't had dinner yet?
Oh,
All of us.
yeah,
No.
that's the right answer.
Milo is barking over here.
I
'cause
hear
he
woof
can't
woof.
eat. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
All right, so Joel,
Yes.
okay, so then they said, no, let's make it up to him, and he cupped you
Well, it's not
Jackie's
it's
balls
not
so
that-
he could get his own movie.
Yeah, they didn't say no. Let's make it up to him. Ryan Reynolds basically said, "Hey, I need to fix this somehow." And
Yeah, but he wasn't Ryan Reynolds yet, was
no,
he?
he was not. But he eventually became Ryan Reynolds, and they actually shot test footage. Fox let them shoot test footage to try a proof of concept thing, and the test footage, which eventually leaked.
Oh,
And
wow.
nobody,
Yeah, and how did that happen, Joel?
well, so Ryan Reynolds claims that he and Tim Miller, the director, did not do that. That somebody else at Fox did it. But
Sure.
yeah. But the test footage that they did is essentially that opening fight scene with the with the car spinning and everybody moving around and stuff. And once
And
that
the bullets with the numbers on them.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh my God. Adorable.
once the footage leaked, the fans went nuts, and Fox started realizing, hey, we can do something with this. And all right, so we're going to give you this much money. And then they're like, well, we're a little skittish. We're going to give you this much money,
Yeah.
Because things started tanking in other areas. So
Had he been the current day Ryan Reynolds, he would have gotten a much larger budget and a much
Right.
yeah.
Which
They would have listened to
obviously
him.
he did because we're doing this movie.
But he at the time he worked on the script for years and tried to pitch it. He was going for. This was it was like 8 years in the making. Maybe I'm wrong a little bit, but it was a passion project.
yeah. So it's to me, I'm going to agree with it. It's a fun film. I think it's, for a character that the general public isn't really going to know, it's a really good and different type of origin story. It's told differently. It's not quite something you normally see, where the hero winds up going to a villain to get superpowers essentially. But it's I think Ryan Reynolds is perfect for the part. He
Oh, God,
does an
yeah.
amazing job with it. Some of the other characters I could take or leave. I'd love to see more of Al and less of TJ Miller. But that's just
Tune in for the third movie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. We watched it the other night. This is like my second or third time seeing it. But the Dave, Sue, and both my boys watched it. We were all watching it together, which was a little awkward in spots. But so anyway, yeah, I don't know what else to say. When I read the comics that he'd appear in, that I had to read for other things I was reading, I never really cared for the character, because to me he was a clone of another great character from DC that they were just kind of riffing off of, and it took a while for them to settle into this as his persona and format. But that is much more enjoyable.
Hey Joel, have you seen Hulk versus the animated 2-part?
Yes.
So just for everyone, there's a part there where it's Hulk versus Wolverine, but Deadpool is in it. It's animated. That was the first time I'd ever seen him, and that came out before this movie, and he was hilarious in it.
Yeah.
And that got me. So, and he was cracking jokes constantly, always sarcastic. So that got me to know who he was, and that helped me to actually, when I watched this movie the first time, I kind of had an inkling for what his character was like.
Was that Ryan Reynolds or no?
No, some animated voice talent, most likely. No, nobody that you would know.
Yeah.
Not Alan Tudyk.
Not Alan Tudyk.
But maybe it was. I don't know.
I think you should look it up and let us know.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Joe.
Yeah. So anyway, it's 3 and 3.333333333. Just to be different.
Joel. Just has to be different. All right. So So now the other thing that Amy already talked about was the post-credit sequence. Very cute, but it's like, again, it's like playing to us, like we're the audience. We're all 50-year-olds. The kids had no idea for Ferris Bueller, I'm sure, that he would come out and do it. But very cute. And then he mentions the next movie has who?
Cable.
And does Cable show up in the next movie?
Yes.
Yes. It's Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Oh, Josh Brolin. Okay. Is that how he got the part in Thanos?
He was Thanos way before this.
Yeah.
Oh, so they just used him again. It's a different character.
Well,
because it wasn't the MCU at the time.
It was Fox, not Disney. So.
All right. Anybody else want to say anything about the Ferris Bueller post-credit sequence?
Well, as a huge fan of Ferris Bueller, of course, I loved it.
Right.
It was funny. It was cute.
Yeah.
It was very cute. And then he had the bathrobe on.
Yeah. But with the suit on still underneath it, which was hilarious.
Yeah, and especially that he left, credits came back, and then he came back again.
Yeah.
Very cute.
And Frank, Nolan North voiced Deadpool.
Oh, whoa.
Nolan North.
That makes sense. Yes, I know who Nolan North is.
Get out of here.
I do.
What else did he do?
He voiced Robin in Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
okay.
funny.
All right. Well, Deadpool is available on Disney Plus or Max for some reason. I guess they had a deal. Or you could rent it.
Right?
Max? No, Max is Warner Brothers.
No, I mean the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was a Fox movie that's now owned by Disney. There may have been some pre-existing contracts with
Max,
with Warner's or Max or HBO or whatever the fuck it was when it started. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could rent it from Prime for $3.79 or borrow the DVD from the library. Does anybody still have DVD players? I don't know.
I have a Blu-ray player and I play my DVDs on that.
Yes.
I'm so
I
proud.
just got a portable one that works.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have.
And I found someone who had Logan's Run, so.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Wow. They must be old.
I have Logan's Run.
Oh, good Lord.
You're old.
I rest my case. Next week, we're watching Deadpool 2 from 2018. Also on Disney Plus and Max and Prime, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
And also with you.